Welcome to Manja, and this is today, and pretty much all of the shows that I'm doing today are all like heavy into peanut butter, chocolate, and just a lot of sugar. Butter. I think all the recipes I did today probably used about 3 pounds of butter or more. It's a natural product. Why not eat butter, right? No margarine. It's a artificial product. These are actually, I could justify these on being good for me because there is so much peanut butter in these, and it is actually a protein, right? So if you're maybe outside of the butter aspect, maybe if you're a vegetarian you can have these, but not vegan, because vegans can't have butter. But these are they're no bake, using vanilla wafers as the crust with butter, of course, right, and peanut butter. Press it into like a 9x13 pan, ship it in the fridge, let it get hardened up, and then you make another layer of the frosting on top, and the frosting on top is what? Peanut butter and chocolate again. Again, you can tell by the darkness of the chocolate. This is really good quality chocolate. And good quality chocolate really makes a difference in anything you make or eat. I'm not a fan of milk chocolate. Now, Rich likes milk chocolate. I'm not a milk chocolate person. The milk in it, whatever. But I like dark chocolate. I like the bite of it. And I mean, I'm looking at this right now, and the temptation to just pick off a big old honking ass piece of this and pop it in my mouth. Not bad. Actually really good. I like these. Maybe they're not going home with Rich. Anyway, these are relatively healthy. Again, simple to make. You can whip these up in under 30 minutes or so. Put them in the freezer. Put them in the, and that's another trick. If you put them in the freezer, some people like frozen chocolate. I'm not one of those people. When you put chocolate in a freezer, what it does is seizes the molecular structure, and you're not getting the full rich taste of the chocolate. And to make chocolate even taste better, a little bit of coffee granules in chocolate makes the molecular structure explode. So just remember that. I also put the coffee grounds, not grounds, but instant coffee in my spaghetti sauce. But that's another show. But again, this is simple. On top, I just took some of peanuts that were kind of candied peanuts, crushed them up, throw them on top. John didn't eat them all this time, so I had something to work with. But vanilla wafers. When I was a kid, Nabisco was a big advertiser in all the kids shows that I liked as a child, Mickey Mouse Club and everything else. And vanilla wafers were always in my mom's house. She didn't have a lot of sweets in there when I was a kid, but when my brothers were born, she did. My mom was a typical 50s mom. Frozen food was her godsend. And I mean, having a TV dinner with those little compartments, and I had my brothers convinced that the apple one, the apple crisp in the frozen TV dinners, was probably poisonous. So they couldn't eat that. So I would trade them. I'd give them my turkey, horrible stuff, for their little apple crisp thing. So I got what I wanted. They got what they wanted. My mother was none the wiser because my mom was doing something else. But again, TV dinners, 50s mom. That's what they lived in. Post World War II, it was all about convenience food. And that's the first time you saw in history huge profits by food manufacturers capitalizing on all the guys coming home from the war, the wives that were previously working when the guys were overseas, having to be thrust back into the kitchen, and they were not happy. They were bitchy. They didn't want to go back in the kitchen. They were like, I've been working. I'm making the money here too. Well, that didn't work real well. So what they did was came up with convenience foods. Now, Bird's Eye came out in 1939, and that was during the Great Depression. Clarence Birdseye had it right. He used old food that he got as surplus and started freezing it. And then they had the boxcars that moved across the nation, moving food from the East Coast to the West Coast. Food is history. And I hope to be able to teach you some of these little stories along the way when we do our shows, because the historical significance of food is ever so much more interesting than some dried thing about Lexington and Concord. I always thought if they taught kids, real history, but interspersed it with something like food just to wake them up, because those kids are in a coma. Well, talking about a coma, you're going to be in a coma after these. These are fabulous. So, again, stuff that you probably have at home: vanilla wafers like my mom, peanut butter, chocolate. You could use chocolate chips. I mean, this is really easy to make. Fast, quick products that you have in your pantry. Voila! It's manja.